It's time for Wild About Trial, where we break down some of the biggest news stories from around the country. And today we're joined by criminal defense attorney Misty Maris and former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Bob Bianchi. Thanks for being here with us today. First up, one of the biggest crime stories in the country right now. 50-year-old teacher Tad Cummins arrested in Northern California after allegedly kidnapping 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas. She's been found safe. But get this, a Tennessee DA says if Elizabeth left willingly, Cummins might be protected by a law and only face a misdemeanor. Misty, how is this possible?
Well, Chris, Tennessee has a very interesting statute, and that kidnapping statute says that anybody over the age of 12 can consent to going away with somebody. It's definitely different than many other states, but that is the letter of the law in Tennessee.
Bob, how is this possible? And as a prosecutor, what do you do?
This case is going to be a hot knife through butter for the prosecution because she cannot consent willingly to leave with this man. There's an inappropriate relationship. He's been grooming her. She even said herself that she was over her head. And on the day she was taken, she said that she was concerned if she wasn't home by 6 o'clock, that they should call the police. So there's no way the prosecution loses.
That is what the prosecution's going to argue, but that's all based on circumstantial evidence.
But Misty, if this were an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, I get your argument, but it's not. Well, it's a 50-year-old and a 15-year-old with a disproportionate power relationship where he manipulated her. Therefore, she cannot consent. That's the part of the Tennessee statute that deals with fraud and coercion.
Here's the reality of the situation. If Elizabeth says, I left voluntary and he never touched me, we never had any sort of sexual relationship, that's what his defense will be, and it will be successful.
I'm going to tell you what prosecutor's going to do. I did it. The feds are going to get in a room. Tennessee's going to get in a room. Any state that they were in, they're going to go over all the laws. They are going to jam this guy with so many charges. There will be no escape.
What we need to recognize is that there's also evidence for the defense. For instance, they found searches on his computer that said how to legally marry a teenager. Maybe there wasn't this intent to confine and deprive her of her liberty, and that's going to be a critical element.
He wouldn't be running around the country hiding and on $4,500 cash and coloring his hair or her hair if he thought what he was doing was right.
Okay, the next story is a tragic one out of Michigan. An 11-year-old boy named Tyson Benz committed suicide after his 13-year-old girlfriend allegedly played a prank on social media that tricked him into thinking she killed herself. She is now facing 2 criminal charges, but the mom thinks it's not enough. Bob, explain to me what this girl should be charged with.
In my opinion, and I know Misty as a defense lawyer is going to go off on this, involuntary homicide. I've brought these cases. Now, let me explain what involuntary homicide is.
This is a kid, though. She's 13.
A 13-year-old girl who probably did not understand the consequences.
She understood the consequences.
Let Bob talk.
She set it up. She executed on her friend's account, and then after he says that I'm going to kill myself, she doesn't contact law enforcement authorities. It's a vicious and cruel thing, and under the law, if her actions are reckless, not that she meant him to die, not that she wanted him to die, but if her actions are reckless and it causes his death, then she can be charged with involuntary homicide. We need to put an end to this stuff that is happening on the internet with these kids, and I have personally dealt with the carnage of kids committing suicide over this. That's what, as a prosecutor, I would charge her with.
To make a 13-year-old girl a criminal is criminal in itself. She should go to juvenile court, learn, be a part of a program about teen suicide and about the effects of social media on classmates.
The mother's 100% correct. There needs to be an appropriate charge that's commensurate or equal to the vicious, hateful, knowing actions of this girl that caused the death of this beautiful 11-year-old child, to shoot bullets in his heart, in his emotional center, to believe that somebody that he loved is dead is a vicious, hateful thing.
So that raises the question, though, is this a prosecutorial issue or a parental issue?
Thank you, Chris, for asking that. As the head prosecutor, I am sick and tired of parents, when something like this happens, blaming law enforcement and the education community for failures in parenting.
She's been charged with malicious use of a telecommunication device. She will be facing those charges in a juvenile court.
That charge is a joke in light of the carnage that occurred to this kid.
It's the only charge under the Michigan statute that the prosecutor can. This is a 13-year-old girl. To say that she's solely responsible for his death is not taking into account other factors that could have been at play.
Misty Maris, Bob Bianchi, thank you for your insights on this case. Now, we want to hear from you.